In terms of myself and where I'm coming from, I've worked with lots of big brands globally. I'm from a company called Tyde.AI. We focus on helping businesses save time and money with AI. And we're based here and also in Saudi Arabia. So what are we going to cover today? We're going to cover the current landscape for agencies and small businesses, exactly what is happening on the ground when it comes to AI adoption, challenges they're having with their clients, so a really clear picture of exactly what our clients are saying about their struggles with AI. How are agencies using AI? We're going to look at some key use cases. We've spoken about the fact that proper AI adoption comes down to pinpointing the areas of your business where the biggest ROI is going to happen. So I'm going to talk about some of those areas. And then how do you actually become AI ready in 2025? What is the blueprint? I'm going to take you through that as well. Before I jump in, though, I want to just take you through a little story of someone who reached out to me on LinkedIn. It was a gentleman in the UAE, it was about 6 months ago now, and he messaged me and he said, I'm having an issue with AI. I've got clients asking me how I'm using AI. Some of them are asking me, how am I making sure that my team are producing work faster? They expect work to be produced faster. And he also said he's got clients that are asking him not to use AI for security risk. So he's looking at me and saying, well, through LinkedIn, what do I do? And by the way, I have no budget, which is literally what he said. And I said, let's go and have a coffee. We had a coffee, and he just took me through all the problems. And it really stuck out to me how businesses, small businesses, have this incredible problem at the moment, this dilemma of, how do I use AI? How do I use it properly? And how do I make sure that my business is future-proofed as AI becomes more prevalent in the space I'm in? How many of you in the room have heard similar kind of stories or people just struggling with AI and how to talk to others about it? Yeah, a couple of you. Yeah, a couple of you about that. Great. It is a real problem. And the first type of pressure or problem that we are observing with businesses today starts with a pressure coming from the inside out. Businesses are losing control of AI within their organization. What do I mean by that? I mean AI, because it's not used properly, there's no control over it, there's no strategy, there's no understanding really. Everyone's doing whatever they want to do. It's changing businesses from the inside out. In a couple of ways. So this is what we've found with our clients. First of all, AI usage is increasing. We all know that. That's a given, right? AI usage is increasing, but specifically it's increasing on an individual basis. People are experimenting by themselves. It's not a company going in and saying, hey, everyone, get on the game plan. It's, oh, yeah, I've tried out a new tool today, or oh, I'm using it to save X number of hours per day. There's no control over that. It's just usage is exponentially increasing, which is good and bad. Misalignment between leadership and management. Sorry, leadership and the team. We've got leaders who have come to us saying, no one in my team is using AI. We're fine. We don't need AI. We then speak with their team as part of like a free kind of audit we do. And it turned out 3/4 of their team were using generative AI tools at some point in their workflow on a weekly basis. And they were just like, okay, I didn't know that, but don't really want to also face that fact. If your leadership is thinking one way and your team are doing something else, you have that misalignment, you are in a really, really tricky place. You need leaders who are listening to their people and then able to respond and actually guide them in their AI use. Otherwise, you are opening up your business to major risk because people are doing what they want, okay? AI misuse. So when we talk about AI misuse, we're talking about people either using AI in an inappropriate way or using AI in a way that kind of goes against company policy. Now, with a lot of businesses, what we're seeing is they're actually blocking access to certain AI technology. So generative AI blacklisted, Grok blacklisted, Claude blacklisted, Perplexity blacklisted. And then I've gone and spoken with those people who are at the other end of that, especially with large agencies actually in in PR and branding and comms. And they come to me and they're saying, yeah, I'm still using the tools. I just use it for my phone. So what have they achieved? What they've done is they've pushed AI usage underground. You've now got shadow IT as a big problem in your organization, and there's not a lot that you can do about that once that's started. So we spend most of our time trying to fix this problem. It is a really, really big problem. And positioning. One agency we spoke with, they said, actually, we're going to start talking about AI as part of our value proposition. It's a PR agency in Dubai. So they actually go to clients and they say, we use AI, that's our kind of competitive edge. But what was so funny was they didn't even have an AI policy. So they were just kind of like talking about AI, but had really no idea about what that really meant for their business. They're kind of using the term, a bit like AI washing a little bit, but not really knowing what to do with it. And we have other agencies who literally say, we are human-driven, we have no AI. But ironically, part of their team is using AI usually. So those are the kind of factors that are really creating disruptions within businesses, and businesses are not able to properly control. Then we have the second pressure, which is clients on to agencies, as we said at the beginning with that story, with the guy that I mentioned. Agencies coming to us saying, what do I do? One client is saying, be more efficient. I am going to pay you less for you to do things faster, but at the same quality. I have been in the room with heads of comms who have said to me, your job as an AI consultancy is to cut the scope of agencies that we are relying on, because we now have AI. And I'm split, because I'm thinking, we work with agencies, we help them be enabled with AI. At the same time, we're training in-house teams. So I've always got to be and say to them, look, agencies bring more to the table than just repetitive delivery. Same with any small business. They're there as specialists, strategic advisors, people that you can rely on to give you clarity in a very chaotic market at the moment. But I've got to say, it's a hard sell unless there is proof in the pudding, right? So we are constantly seeing that idea of how can we cut costs, and that's impacting agencies. Then there are the clients that really don't want to see AI. They have very strict policies for their vendors that AI cannot be used in the work that is rendered. So what do you do then? You just tell everybody, for this account, do not use AI, but for this one, go ahead, use your Copilot and ChatGPT. Very, very chaotic. So there's actually 3 pillars that we can talk about when it comes to where AI can help. Activities that have a lot of data involved. A lot of legacy systems sitting with lots of data just sitting there, and you want to do something with it. AI is great for that. Repetitive, methodical, systemized processes. How you write a press release is templatized a lot of the time. Obviously, I know some people would disagree with that, but there are very clear pillars of how certain things are done. AI can help with that. Finally, when there is a task that is heavy or voluminous in unstructured data, which means pretty much the content we write. If you have a task that involves producing a lot of content, generative AI is here to help. And yes, I know you hear online people saying AI slop is everywhere. AI produces, rubbish social media posts and content, and it's taking over the internet. If you speak to people, real experts who are in the field of content production, who know how to use AI, they would not agree with that. I am a former comms copywriter from several years ago. I used to work in government, helping them create strategic communications collaterals, and I can tell you, you can produce it. You just need to have the right skill set and know where your value lies and capitalize on that. So with these 5 areas, deep research, I think we can all agree. Who uses ChatGPT's deep research function? Yeah. Okay, great. I'm glad. This is a massive lever in research. And you can also do a lot when it comes to real-time monitoring as well with AI. You have your general social media listening platforms, media monitoring platforms. They do help you. But when you pair that with ChatGPT, there is so much that you can bring to the table. Data analysis and synthesis. So Has anyone heard of the tool Numerous.ai? Oh yes, great. 3 people, good. So this is a great tool. How many of you are just dealing with Excel spreadsheets day in, day out? Just plugging information or media lists or just having a lot of data to deal with, yeah? Please go and search Numerous.ai, please. It is a tool that will literally, if I had 100 URLs in a spreadsheet and I had to extract information from those URLs and put it under a number of headers, all I got to do with this tool is literally drag across from that URL across those headers, and it will autofill cells for you. It will extract information from those URLs. Imagine, for comms, for example, you had 100 articles, and you had to extract information for the client from those articles. I was up at 3 a.m. in the morning doing this kind of stuff when I was in comms, and I never want to do it again. And I don't want anyone here to ever be doing that in their job, because you have AI to help. Planning and ideation. We all know this. We all know we can use ChatGPT to create a really killer structure, draft plan, whatever. I won't go into that, but I will say one thing. With brainstorming and AI, has anybody ever tried to use temperature as a parameter in their prompting? Okay, just a couple, maybe 1 or 3 people. So when you're trying to get AI to be really creative, like you want like a sidekick giving you cool ideas with your team, maybe you're planning a campaign. If you tell AI to pretty much make the idea a 7 out of a 10 when it comes to degrees temperature, it is going to produce a wildly more random idea. It's all about randomness. It's not about creativity, real creativity. It's just random combination of ideas that you stick together, and it seems to work. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. If I put a 9, it'll come up with something very random, but sometimes random is what we need to get us out of our kind of headspace. Also, you can tell AI to take an orthogonal line of inquiry. Has anyone ever heard of that one? When you think orthogonally about something, you're just thinking completely the opposite of what you would actually normally think. It's just a great way of pushing the conversation away from the generic AI stuff that we usually come across. So have a play around with some of those things when you're thinking about ideation. Content development, I won't go into this. If you want a prompting framework to produce great content, just message us. We'll give it for free. It is like the thing everyone should be able to do today. You should be able to produce a good piece of content with AI assisting you. It is a given for 2025. Content customization, great one. If you've got lots of different channels and you've got a piece of content, AI is great at taking the requirements of one platform and another platform and just shaping it all up. So you've got an X post, you've got an Instagram post, you've got a LinkedIn post. It's phenomenal. I know there are also tools out there that help you with that, but if you've already got a ChatGPT subscription, just run it through there. It makes a lot of sense in terms of where we are with AI. So that's like the internal AI uses. But let's talk about external use of AI in terms of the value that we're bringing to our clients. Not a lot of people have actually thought about this. When I have AI at my fingertips, I'm just thinking, right, internal efficiencies. And it's like, but how could I actually use that to earn more money in my business? Like, I can offer cooler things or cool and additionally cool things on top of what I'm already doing. So there's one PR agency we spoke with that is actually creating a low-ticket offering where they pretty much provide AI, comms and marketing services to startups with the assistance of AI. That's an agreement that they have with startups. It's a cheaper service. But they're now getting business in a whole new area that they never thought they would. How many people in here have tried to innovate with AI in terms of an external offering, something they're actually offering to their clients? Okay, nice. A couple, not as many as I hoped. But definitely consider that. McKinsey is saying 67% of the things that take up employees' time is going to be taken by AI in the future. I mean, it's probably all heard this kind of stuff, but I think, look, let's just take this with a pinch of salt. We've got to get on the game plan using AI. Now is the time to innovate fast, as Rajat says. Great quote. Everyone should take this. It's now. And I'm saying this for the businesses that are less AI, kind of thinking about AI. Those leaders who don't think AI is relevant, those are the ones that need to be thinking about this. So, becoming an AI-ready entity or agency, businesses that aren't naturally tech-savvy. Ethan Mollick, great guy, definitely follow him on LinkedIn, X, etc. He talks a lot about AI in business. He talks about how our businesses are shifting for there to be a new symbiotic relationship between us and machines. We've already been working with machines for quite a long time, right? But we're now talking about a much deeper relationship where we have AI as our co-pilot. We all know that phraseology from before. But I think symbiotic relationship is a new way. I like that phrase a bit more. We're kind of relying on each other. Now, I want you to all focus on these 3 pillars. If you're not focusing, focus now. Level 1, 2, and 3. This is our kind of like very basic AI maturity index, okay? Look at those 3 levels. Level 1, you're using AI ad hoc on an individual basis. No one really knows what's going on a broader company basis. You have no idea about your data. You've got things saved in random Excel spreadsheets. You're using Google and you're using Microsoft. It's a bit of a mess, okay? But you're doing something. Like you are like playing around with AI, playing around, thinking about your data. Maybe you are using Copilot and you're pulling in your data and you're using Copilot to talk with your data. That's great, okay? But you're still at level 1. You're not really cohesive in your AI use. There's silos on an individual basis. You want to be at level 2 in 2025. That is where, as Carlo was saying earlier, you are using AI intentionally in key use cases. You're training people on how to use AI for specific use cases. You have an AI strategy. You have a policy. You have a training program. You have an AI lead. And you actually have a bit of a data plan going on, okay? Level 3, some larger entities are here. I mean, it's a given. They've got the budget. You start building your own things. You're building the tech. But it's really expensive if you really go down that path and you don't even know where you should be using AI really. Like, it's just flashy. It's just, okay, let's build something. Let's get ahead. This technology is changing every 5 minutes. You're going to build something, and it's going to be either that whole concept's going to be taken up by a big tech giant, or there's going to be something even better than what you've just built 6 months down the line. And then your team, which I've literally seen 2 times in the past couple of months, the business builds it, and then the team want the latest thing on the market. Grok comes out with its new research feature. I've got people saying, well, I've got this tool called, I think they call it like Fergus or something. They got a tool, and the company use a tool. But the team are like, well, I actually really want to use the cooler one on the market right now. So it's just a bit of much of a race to the bottom. But my question to you is, how many people are at level 1? Their business. Okay. Level 2? Okay, nice. Carlo turning around. Level 2. Okay. And level 3? No, okay. Yeah, cool. That's good. Level 2 is where you want to be. If you're not level 2, get to level 2. And this is how you get to level 2, if I go with that. Okay. So we have a system, a blueprint. I call it a system. I don't know if it's a blueprint, but it's our AI Advantage system blueprint, okay? An environment of trust and conversation within your team. Just start talking to people about AI. Show them that you're willing to chat. Don't be that leader that says, I don't really think AI is relevant and I don't really want to talk about it. Show you're open, because then you'll find out things that you need to find out quite quickly. Set the guardrails, get your policy. Just set things up from a trust and security perspective. You also want to have some kind of plan. Usually that's where you're kind of thinking about planning a vision and mission. What's my vision mission for AI? Then you want to start figuring out where you're going to start using AI. Your use cases. You're going to start auditing parts of your business. Get 3 use cases. Just get 3. Figure out if the team are happy to implement AI in those 3 areas. If they probably are, then great. Go ahead with it. Start testing it, piloting it. Then you want to think about, okay, with piloting, which tools am I actually using to address those use cases? Then you're going to train your team on how to use AI in those use cases. And then you're going to measure the impact, and you're going to repeat that over and over again with that foundation of a clear trust, relationship, guardrails, plan, vision, mission, and ongoing innovation in that kind of cycle of the lower onion levels, okay? So that's what everyone, regardless if you're techie or not, you should be doing today. And that's what we do as a business. We go through this exact process with every single business, and usually with PR, comms, and marketing agencies. So the goal for Q2 is to set critical AI foundations. Get your policy and your strategy in place. And if you've done that already, how many of you have got an AI lead dedicated to just helping out with AI stuff, kind of like custodian of AI? One person. Guys, you gotta find your lead. That is one thing to do then in Q2. Get your lead. Someone who's not an AI techie, but someone who's interested, enthusiastic. Get them on board to help you out. And just get them like owning this stuff. Get them excited. Give them that ability to actually enter a new space and get excited about what AI can bring into their career and also to their team. So I'm assuming most people here are aiming to become AI ready, since that's kind of probably why you're here. Yeah, cool. Okay, just want to double check. If you're not, I hope this has been inspiring. Are there any questions before I leave the stage? No? Okay. I think we've had a lot of AI conversation for today. You got the things you need. Let me know if you need anything after this. And if you want a free roadmap, the details of that onion, just go onto the website and you can get that information, because we give you an email list of like all the things you need to do, all for free. So feel free to do that. Thank you very much, everyone. Oh no, there's one guy who wants to ask a question. Sorry. I can pick up after if you want, or I don't know what the time is. I don't know how to. All right, okay, let's do that then. Okay. Okay, my idea of cool is not very cool, because I'm usually dealing with businesses that, like, for them it's really cool, but I think for the general populace it's not particularly cool. So the first one I mentioned, which is about Excel, I'm sorry, that is so cool. Like, it has revolutionized my world, being able to autofill cells. It sounds so basic, but it is so, so practical. Another area that I've been working on recently with a recruitment agency was the ability to be able to take transcripts, turn that into job descriptions, and have that all automatically uploaded to a CRM, to a database, all for the team. The team were just literally not logging anything they did within the recruitment lifecycle, and now we've set it up so AI is literally just taking the stuff, drafting the stuff, and uploading it all within the required fields. Again, for me, that is really cool, because that's literally saving them several hours per week across their whole team. I think of another one where I thought was very cool. Gosh, you put me on the spot now. Getting AI to... one that I worked on with another entity, a larger entity. They had a product team, and they wanted to be able to visualize product ideas. Don't know if anyone's tried Claude and going into Claude and asking it to like create games or create products, like visualize a product. Let's say you want to create like a LinkedIn content creator product, like a little like software that you would be able to go in and, you know, get it to write LinkedIn posts for you. You can go into Claude and it will literally mock up the visuals of your software, of your product. That's another one that I found really, really interesting in terms of being able to kind of be able to visualize software for yourself when actually, you know, without having to have another team member do that for you at a fee. So those are my 3 use cases, but probably less exciting. Oh gosh, yes, go. Oh, he did 3. Yeah. Is it one question? That's a really good question. I actually don't know the answer. Turning your unstructured data into structured data within like a tool that can do that for you. I am positive. Are you yeah, go ahead. This gentleman knows.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's called Tetmon, and the product's Tetmon, and it's edge set.
Okay.
So yeah, so they take it, they put it into a vector database that it's then very accessible. AI loves vector databases, so we can use that. So we just index everything. We don't move it. We don't change it. It doesn't. It can lie in legacy ancient places, but we just pull it up when we need it. And it goes down to the Excel and very much anything unstructured level. So you can have things in Google Sheets, and it can go and find that and create aggregate reports. It even has a nice SQL interface to create very nice, reports across the whole entire structured data.
There you go. Fantastic.
I love that one.
Yeah, it's great. It's great you're here. Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good rest of the day. Thank you.